Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves at a moment of profound inflection, a juncture where the tectonic plates of professional sports administration and high-stakes labor negotiations are colliding with a force that is as subtle as it is devastating. Just as we began to detect the faint yet unmistakable tremors of discord within the players' union, those chinks in the armor and cracks in the foundation that seem to suggest a weakening of their collective resolve, the Women's National Basketball Association has executed a maneuver of such breathtaking strategic brilliance that it demands not only our attention but our intellectual respect. Much to the surprise of nearly every observer who has been tracking the glacial pace of these collective bargaining agreement talks, the WNBA has officially released the schedule for the 2026 season. We must understand that this is not merely a logistical update. This is not a simple administrative task of assigning dates to venues. This is a calculated, aggressive, and psychologically potent gambit orchestrated by the league's leadership, a move that bears the distinct fingerprints of Adam Silver's operational philosophy. It is, to put it plainly, brilliant. It is brilliant because it fundamentally alters the battlefield upon which this negotiation is being fought. By placing a tangible, exciting, and concrete schedule directly in front of the public, the league has effectively weaponized the anticipation of the fan base. Consider the current climate of public opinion. We have reached a point where the vast majority of the viewing public is already acutely aware of the financial realities at play. They have seen the offers. They comprehend that there is a substantial, life-altering amount of money currently sitting on the negotiating table. The fans have looked at the proposal. They have looked at the rhetoric of the brave, stunning, and courageous demands being made by the union, and a significant portion of them have concluded that the league's offer represents a monumental financial victory. The sentiment is clear. That is a ton more money. And now, by dropping the schedule into this volatile mix, the league has taken that simmering public sentiment and whipped it into a lather of expectation. The genius of this move lies in its ability to shift the burden of responsibility. By establishing a start date, by locking in the venues, by promising the matchups, the league has effectively said to the world, "We are ready." It frames the narrative in such a way that if the season does not occur, or if it is delayed, the blame will not fall on the greedy owners or the complexities of economics, but squarely on the players who refuse to sign the document that would allow the show to begin. It puts the target right back on the union. The implicit message to the athletes is undeniable. You need to sign this thing. You all need to sign this so we can get to this schedule and get to playing. We must also be honest about the emotional context of this anticipation. If we are to keep it real, the previous season left a bitter taste in the mouths of many. It was a campaign that, frankly, sucked. It was defined by the injury and fatigue of Caitlin Clark, the league's preeminent drawing card. The product on the floor was compromised. It was not what the millions of new fans had signed up to watch. But the promise of the 2026 season, as illuminated by this newly released itinerary, offers a chance for a profound correction. We are staring at the potential for a glorious redemption arc. We are looking at a season where, provided the hateful players do not once again target Caitlin Clark with non-basketball physicality, we will witness the full realization of her talent. This schedule teases a reality where we get more Caitlin Clark, and not just the domestic version, but Caitlin Clark representing the Indiana Fever and crucially representing the United States of America in the FIBA World Cup. This dual narrative is the fuel that will drive the engine of the 2026 season. The excitement is palpable, and even the corporate partners are leaning into it. We have seen the new promotional efforts, such as the post from Erica F455, highlighting the new State Farm commercial that simply asks, "Where's Caitlin?" It is a question that resonates because the answer, provided by this schedule, is that she is ready to take the court on the biggest stages available. The WNBA released a formal statement to accompany this bombshell, confirming that the league is slated to tip off its 30th season on Friday, May 8th. The WNBA tip-off presented by CarMax is not just a branding exercise, it is a line in the sand. And the matchup selected to inaugurate this historic 30th campaign is nothing short of a masterstroke in narrative construction. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever playing host to Paige Buckers and the Dallas Wings. One can only imagine the consternation this specific announcement has caused within the offices of outlets like Front Office Sports, entities that have frequently carried water for the union's more intransigent positions. They must be hating this development. They must look at a matchup of Clark versus Buchers, a clash of generational titans, the established phenomenon against the incoming superstar, and realize that the public's desire to see this game far outweighs their patience for labor disputes. This is the new State Farm assist. It is the league setting up a slam dunk for viewership, provided the players agree to step onto the court. However, we must delve into the structural nuances of this schedule, for they reveal the league's long-term thinking and its immediate concessions to reality. It has been a topic of much discussion that the league, in the new CBA, desires to expand the regular season to 50 games and eventually to 54. I have analyzed this trajectory in previous commentaries. Yet for the 2026 season, the schedule remains fixed at 44 games. This decision is not a retreat. It is a logistical necessity driven by the international calendar. The league is not expanding the game count this year because of the anticipated 18-day midseason interruption for the FIBA World Cup. This break is the extra Caitlin Clark for the year. The schedule is designed to accommodate the global game. The tournament, which will take place in Berlin, Germany, from September 4th through the 13th, necessitates a significant pause in domestic operations. The WNBA games will officially pause on August 31st and are scheduled to resume on September 17th. This is a massive logistical undertaking. While we still do not have official confirmation on the television partner for the World Cup, speculation points heavily toward NBC Sports or the USA Network. Regardless of the broadcaster, the integration of this tournament into the WNBA calendar signals a prioritization of global visibility. The structure of the season, therefore, is tight and intense. Following the resumption of play in mid-September, the league will sprint toward the postseason, with the playoffs scheduled to begin on September 27th. We also see the All-Star Weekend positioned for July 25th, a mid-summer celebration that will serve as a bridge between the first half of the season and the break for Berlin. The release of this information, despite the ongoing standoff, is a key step, according to the WNBA spokesperson. It allows the teams, the partners, the broadcasters, and most importantly, the fans, to begin essential planning. It is also a necessary signal to the arenas. As I noted in a previous analysis, the multi-purpose venues that host these teams were beginning to demand dates. They cannot hold their calendars open indefinitely for a league that is paralyzed by negotiation. They have concerts to book, other events to schedule. By releasing these dates, the WNBA has satisfied its business partners and locked in the infrastructure required to play. The statement provided to Front Office Sports noted that the union has not yet commented. I would wager, with a high degree of confidence, that they have absolutely no comment because they have been completely outmaneuvered. What can they say? To speak against the schedule is to speak against the fans. To criticize the start date is to criticize the opportunity for players to earn their salaries. The silence from the union is the silence of a group that realizes their leverage is evaporating with every ticket that is mentally sold by a fan planning their summer. Let us look closer at the specific engagements that will define the narrative of the Indiana Fever, and by extension, the league itself. The schedule is peppered with marquee matchups designed to drive ratings and attendance. After the opener against Dallas on May 8th, the Fever face the Wings again on May 9th. This back-to-back engagement ensures that the Clark-Bueckers rivalry captures the news cycle for the entire opening weekend. On June 6th, we see a clash with New York, a revisit of the budding rivalries from the previous year. Perhaps most intriguing are the dates involving the expansion franchises and the new personalities entering the league. The Fever have back-to-back games against the Golden State Valkyries, a fresh narrative that will surely draw eyeballs. On May 30th, they travel to Portland to face the newly minted expansion team there. And of course, we have the highly anticipated home game on Thursday, June 11th, against Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. This is the soap opera of sport. These are the storylines that fuel the entire ecosystem. By putting dates to these rivalries, the league has made them real. They are no longer hypothetical matchups contingent on a CBA. They are calendar appointments. The release of the schedule for the 2026 season on a Wednesday, despite the league and union remaining at odds, is a demonstration of confidence. It is a declaration that the machinery of the league is moving forward. The season will conclude on September 24th, though the ominous caveat remains. A work stoppage could delay this. But think of the optics. If the players force a stoppage now, after the fans have seen the return of Paige Bueckers, after they have visualized the World Cup run, after they have circled the dates for the Fever versus Sky, the public backlash will be unprecedented. The fans are worked up, they are excited, they are ready to move past the ugliness of the negotiation and into the beauty of the game. If the players choose this moment to dig in their heels, to reject the ton more money on the table and deny the fans the season they have been promised, they will be committing a public relations error from which they may never fully recover. The 30th season is a milestone. It is a celebration of longevity and survival. To jeopardize it now would be an act of profound self-destruction. However, amidst this praise for the league's strategic acumen, we must pause to address a jarring, almost inexplicable lapse in professional standards regarding the specific marketing efforts of the Indiana Fever. While the league office is playing 4D chess with the schedule release, the Fever's promotional team appears to be playing with crayons. I am referring, of course, to the company video posted by the Fever to announce their schedule. To be blunt, I am not sitting through that again. I barely survived the first viewing. It is hilarious in the most tragic sense. When one looks at the National Football League, the gold standard of sports marketing, their schedule release day is a cultural event. The teams produce elaborate, high-budget, incredibly creative videos. They employ humor, narrative, high production values, and original concepts. Each release is a unique piece of content designed to go viral. In stark contrast, the Indiana Fever released a video that looked as if somebody's kindergartner had been handed an iPad and told to make a movie. It was a production so devoid of professional polish that one legitimately wondered what was being watched. The kindergarten action that they put into this video is getting rightfully destructed in the comments section. Fans are asking, what am I watching here exactly? It is a valid question. This is the franchise that houses the most popular female athlete on the planet. They are the focal point of the entire sporting world's attention. And yet, when presented with a massive opportunity to generate hype, they retreated into a level of amateurism that borders on parody. It is all downhill after watching the NFL's efforts, certainly, but one expects a professional franchise to at least attempt to clear the bar of watchable. They went straight to elementary school for their creative direction. It is a reminder that while the WNBA is growing, there are pockets of the operation that still scream Bush League. The players may be demanding professional wages, and the league may be making professional strategic moves, but the operational execution at the team level, specifically in Indianapolis, needs to elevate its game to match the star power on its roster. Nevertheless, despite the aesthetic crimes committed by the Fever's video editor, the overarching impact of this schedule release remains undiminished. I am not sure that the players or even many in the media fully grasp the angle of pressure this applies. This is not just news, it is a tactical encirclement. The fans are fired up. They are ready to watch. They have their dates. They are circling calendars and planning their lives around these games. The message to the players is simpler than any clause in a collective bargaining agreement. You better sign that deal. You better get your butts on the court. It is time to play some basketball. The money is there. The stage is set. The dates are booked. The World Cup is waiting. The fans are waiting. It is time to go to work. The release of the 2026 schedule is the bell ringing for the final round of this negotiation. The league has played its ace. They have shown the world what the future looks like, a future of Clark versus Buchers, of international competition, of a 30th anniversary celebration. Now, the players must decide if they are going to be the ones to cancel that future. The pressure is immense, and it is entirely self-inflicted if they choose to resist the momentum that is now building like a tidal wave. Tell me what you truly think. Is this schedule release the checkmate move that Adam Silver intended it to be? Do the players realize the corner they have been backed into? Or will they continue to listen to the disjointed advice of a leadership group that seems increasingly out of touch with the reality on the ground? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ensure you are still subscribed, and leave a like. This story is accelerating and the clock is now ticking toward May 8th. Peace. I am out. Until next time.